Listen on Bloomberg 1130 or anytime on the Bloomberg Talks podcast.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Ink card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Ink Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JP Morgan Chase Bank and member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
What if there is a murderer walking among us?
Follow the clues.
Finish really is a place where murder is easy.
Agatha Christie's Murder is Easy, a brand new BritBox original series, is streaming now, adding to the largest collection of Agatha Christie, including Miss Marple, Poirot, Why Didn't They Ask Evans, and more.
The whole collection is magnificent.
Stream the best of British TV, only on BritBox. Start a free trial at BritBox.com.
She posted about it just now.
Celebrities can't get enough of Beyonce's bespoke skincare line.
She has 147 million followers. How do we monetize?
She needs a social media associate to help her with the hype.
We should repost this. Do we need a hashtag?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Imagine your team always looking and feeling their best in high-performance technical workwear. Cintas can make it happen. They have garments for almost every job imaginable. And with the Cintas Workwear program, you get freshly laundered garments delivered every week for everyone on your team. Great garments without the bother of laundry. That's a real perk for employees. Find out how Cintas can boost team image and morale. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
And coming up next, we're talking to the co-creator of the hit television comedy Big Bang Theory. He's talking about how he's helping young scientists in Southern California. That's next on Business Week.
And I'm John Tucker of the Bloomberg Newsroom with this Bloomberg Business Flash. Stocks finished modestly lower today. Stock traders deciding to take some of the chips off the table at the start of a week where we get loads of data, including the Federal Reserve's preferred inflation measure. We get that Friday, Good Friday, when actually the markets will be closed. Intel slipped on news report that China limiting the use of foreign chips. Boeing climbed after announcing its CEO is going to step down. Your Treasury 10-year yields rising today 6 basis points to 426 basis points. Supermicrocomputer continued its multi-day rally, finishing the session up another 7%. At Micron Technology, the number one gainer in the NASDAQ 100, it finished up over 6%. And Reddit soared in the third day of trading after its IPO. It was up another 30%. S&P 500 finished the day 16 points lower, down 0.3% at 52.18. The Dow Jones Industrial average down 162 points. That was a decline of 0.4%. And the NASDAQ Composite Index fell all 44 points, a decline of 0.3%. And we check the markets for you all day long, right here on Bloomberg Radio. I'm John Tucker, and that's your Bloomberg Business Flash. Carol and Tim.
Everybody, you know it well. It aired for 12 seasons, September of 2007 to May of 2019. We're talking to him about The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, well, he's the co-creator of the hit television comedy The Big Bang Theory. It's about young scientists in Southern California, as if I needed to tell any of you
The world knows.
And now he wants to help young scientists in Southern California, even more than he had earlier.
Yeah, he does. Through his family foundation, Chuck Lorre, the TV writer, director, producer, is pledging $24.5 million to the University of California, Los Angeles to help more low-income students study science and technology. This adds to a program he began back in 2015, and this donation will double the number of undergraduate scholarship recipients with financial needs to 80 each year. Tim, this is according to UCLA.
Well, Janet Lauren is Bloomberg News higher education finance reporter. She earlier this month wrote about Lori's latest donation. She's with us here in the Bloomberg Interactive Broker Studio. Also joining us is Chuck Lorre, who not only co-created The Big Bang Theory, but also created or co-created and produced Grace Under Fire, Sybil, Dharma and Greg, Two and a Half Men, just to name a few. Chuck joins us from Los Angeles. Chuck, I do want to start with you because you've done a lot of philanthropy. You've supported STEM education in public schools before this latest donation. Give us your thinking behind the importance of STEM, especially when it comes to a world where, we're talking about AI potentially doing a lot of the work for us.
Well, when this all began, AI was not part of the conversation. So I can't really speak to how that changes things. But my thinking early on was very simple. We had come to understand from various news reports that children here and in England, because they were watching The Big Bang Theory, were showing a spike of interest in STEM-related fields at high school and college levels. And that was remarkable because that certainly wasn't the original goal for The Big Bang Theory, to change the trajectory of a young person's life. It was happening.
So I have to admit, as Chuck and I talked before, my family and I are huge fans of young Sheldon.
Me too.
I had not watched The Big Bang Theory. We actually was introduced to the characters from young Sheldon. So I have only maybe watched one episode of The Big Bang Theory. So all this is new to me. But I do know a lot about college financing. And one thing Chuck had said to me when we spoke earlier about the lack of finances is something he understood extremely well. Because he did not finish college and carried around student loans of $2,000 for 15 years. So he understands...
Well, after 15 years, that 2,000 was about 8 or 9.
Wow. Yes, that's right. The principle of accrued interest. But that's a good detail that a lot of people out there thinking about college, they don't think about. And what I found remarkable about this program is not only does it fund college, but it gives mentorship, which is something that is hard to get through college without. Could you talk a little bit about why that it was important, and why is it important for you to see kids graduate college in a reasonable amount of time, such as 4 years, and how difficult that can be?
Well, one of the original goals that I had, for better or worse, was to keep things local, so that I could participate. And local for us here in Los Angeles was UCLA, and that was absolutely aided by the fact that our science consultant on The Big Bang Theory, Dr. David Salzberg, was a professor of physics at UCLA, and so we already had entree to the university through David, and wanting to participate and give back, it made sense to do so by focusing on young people who were pursuing or wanted to pursue a STEM field at UCLA, and also because it was local, because it was UCLA, because of David, the mentorship process was also part of this. We weren't just handing out money and saying good luck. For a lot of the kids, they're the first generation in their families to get a college education, and so they're being thrown onto a speeding train, right out of the gate. Mentorship's important.
Now, the information about the scholarship says there's opportunities for graduate school funding. We all know how expensive medical school could be. Can you talk about, was that important to you to continue students on this trajectory?
Not initially. This thing grew over a period of almost 10 years now. And when we realized the success rate we were having with the kids going through undergraduate programs was phenomenal. And that's when we decided to expand the program into graduate school. And again, we were initially trying to keep the graduate school in the in the California system so that we could, again, stay close to it and participate.
Well, and I am curious too, Chuck, you guys really worked hard to get the science right on the show, right? I mean, that was obviously a priority. David did. Well, talk to us about being in that environment for you and maybe how that also shaped your thinking about where you wanted to commit money towards to help others, pursue potentially, degrees in the STEM world.
It begins with the show. The show is about a group of somewhat alienated, disenfranchised geniuses, and struggling to make their way in the world, but clinging to one another as a community. And basically, almost a family unit in the way they treated one another, both good and bad. And so it made sense from the beginning that we focus on STEM, and for a couple of very practical reasons. One is the likelihood that you graduate in one of these fields, you can get employed. Same can't be said with a BA in the humanities or communication. I think I lost you guys.
No. We're just all
listening.
thinking about our liberal arts degrees, Chuck.
Exactly.
Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry to disappoint you. But those degrees don't necessarily create a, I guess, I'm losing this thing here. Hang on.
No, we can hear you. Don't worry about it. Yeah, we got you. Yeah, we got you. Don't worry. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, there it is. Go ahead. So, I very practically, I wanted the program to also, help young people who are going through, the journey of education to end with employability.
Yeah.
And that may have been a little bit cited, but it seemed like, wouldn't it be great to graduate without debt and have a job?
Yeah. Right.
Yes and yes.
Yes and yes. Right. What did you? We have about a minute and a half, and then we're going to take a break and then come back and do more. But what did you study?
Drugs.
No. I'm not sure I have a follow-up. No, what did you really academically?
I may have had it's a dim memory. We're talking about a long time ago. There was also rock and roll and girls. But it was, I think I might have been a political science major. I don't know if I ever mentioned it to anybody, but yeah.
No.
Also a degree, but also, as they used to say, that degree and a token could get you a ride on the subway.
Well, you've done okay. I would say you've done okay. Listen, we have to do a little bit of news, but we do want to come back and continue the conversation and talk a bit more about what you're doing. And I'm also kind of curious about the money aspect of what it costs, because I agree with you. I think as parents, we've got a bunch of parents around this table here in our New York studio. We want our kids to come out debt-free with a job, so that really resonates.
Some of the parents around the table have paid for college. Some of the parents are preparing to pay for college, and some of the parents are currently paying for college.
Another year.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're going to come back. Chuck, sit tight, and we will come right back to you. We're talking with Chuck Lorre, as you know, co-created The Big Bang Theory, so much more. So many of the programs that have really been a part of our lives on television for a long time. We're going to come back to Chuck. Also, Janet Lauren is with us, Bloomberg News higher education finance reporter. We'll continue with them both in just a moment.
Well, let's hear Chuck the latest world and national news. We have Nancy Lyons in the Bloomberg 99.1 newsroom in D.C. Hey, Nancy.
Hey, Tim. Former President Trump spent several hours today in a New York courtroom where his attorneys were hoping the judge would grant another delay in his criminal trial on an alleged hush money payment to a porn star. But the judge set jury selection to begin April 15th. Prosecutors accused Trump of concealing a sex scandal from voters in 2016 by falsifying business records related to the payment to Stormy Daniels. Trump's attorneys say the payments were legitimate legal expenses, not cover-up checks. And Trump has been given a bit of a reprieve from today's deadline to either post a bond covering a $454 million civil fraud verdict or risk having New York State start seizing his assets. A New York appeals court has reduced the bond now to $175 million and given him another 10 days to make the payment. He praised that decision.
I respect the appellate's decision for substantially reducing the ridiculous amount of money that was put on by a corrupt judge.
Trump says he will be paying the reduced bond by the due date. Israel's defense minister was supposed to meet today with the Biden administration on Israel's war against Hamas. But those meetings were abruptly canceled after the U.S. refused to veto and instead abstained when the UN Security Council took up a resolution calling for a ceasefire in the war during Ramadan. The resolution did pass. Russian President Vladimir Putin is blaming Islamic militants for the deadly attack on a concert venue in Moscow Friday night. The assault killed 139 people. Islamic State has claimed responsibility, but today was the first time Putin had blamed the militants, instead alluding to the fact Ukraine could have been involved. Ukraine has flatly denied those claims. Global news 24 hours a day, and whenever you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Nancy Lyon. This is Bloomberg.
Every Bloomberg radio show.
This is Bloomberg Surveillance.
You're listening to Bloomberg Business Week.
Every Bloomberg podcast.
Welcome to the Odd Laws Podcast.
This is the big case.
Every Bloomberg News headline.
Now to a Bloomberg News exclusive.
Historic moves in the Treasury market.
Catch every moment of Bloomberg Radio inside your car.
This is a joy.
The new Bloomberg Business app, now featuring Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Downloaded free in the Apple App Store or on Google Play. Bloomberg Radio. Context changes everything.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions. Jackson Hewitt! Jackson Hewitt is so sure they'll get you your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt!
Switch to Jackson Hewitt and we'll beat what you paid last year, even if you filed online. Ain't nothing to it. Switch to Jackson Hewitt and pay less for tax prep, guaranteed. Proof of prior year payment required when filing. New clients only at participating locations through April 7th. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
And now Martha Stewart for Skechers. When I make a dish or embark on a craft project, I always use the finest, most fabulous ingredients and materials. Which is why, when it comes to footwear, I love Skechers. Because Skechers is the comfort technology company and uses the most luxurious, innovative materials and designs to make wondrously comfortable footwear with all the fits and features like Arch Fit and Skechers' world-famous air-cooled memory foam. It's exactly the way I make shoes.
Find Skechers at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
At Oppenheimer, we focus the power of our thinking on you, creating customized plans to help achieve your goals. The power of Oppenheimer thinking is boundless and original, listening more closely and investing with the confidence of over a century of experience. Create